This movie touches on a lot of things, many of which I don't have anything to say about. But it touches on a lot of other things that I do have things to say about. So if you're reading this and wishing I would talk about something in the movie that I don't, then that's probably one of the things I just don't have a lot to say about. In a lot of ways, this is just your typical Robot Uprising movie. As far as Robot Uprising movies go, this doesn't really lay any new groundwork. Artificial intelligence is blamed for a nuclear explosion, and war breaks out between countries that stop doing AI research and countries that keep doing AI research. One of the most frustrating parts of this movie for me as someone with experience working with and working on computers professionally is that the AI robots were just ordinary people, except they had robot parts on their heads. Very few science fiction stories actually get robots right. There's no reason that the AI couldn't have built in Wi-Fi or at least Bluetooth so that they could communicate near instantly and silently. There's no reason that AI machines couldn't back up their personalities regularly in case of an accident or an attack. There's no reason they should be limited to humanoid, bipedal designs. A house, a car, or even a neighborhood could be a single AI. An AI could be as small as a mouse or as big as a skyscraper. They could use wheels or legs. Making AI just be people is the boring choice. There are also things I didn't understand about the war between AI and the United States. There are weapons that could be deployed that would only impact machines or only impact people. Drop an impulse bomb on an AI village, and then you've got a bunch of paperweights, and all the humans are fine. Similarly, a little mustard gas is just mildly annoying to a well-built machine, but it's going to be devastating to a platoon of Marines. Build the AI city underground and fill it with carbon monoxide, and all your machines will live long, happy lives free from enemy attack. I also didn't understand why Alfie being able to grow was such a big deal. If the machines had been designed by anyone with any sense, they would be able to attach new parts or peripherals for quite a while at least. So they should be able to grow in that way at least. None of that was the point though. As much as the hard sci-fi writer in me hates it, these changes would have made a lot of what the movie was really trying to do inaccessible to the typical audience member. They wouldn't necessarily have impacted the overall story, mind you. While most scenes would have needed a rewrite, almost every scene could have started and ended in the same place with these changes. The resulting robots wouldn't have been relatable though. It's harder to cry for a robot that's going to be restored from backup than one that just died, for example. There are still ways to make that story step, but it takes more moving parts that have to be explained to the viewer. And if you don't hold the viewer's hands all the way through the explanation, you'll lose them. A prime example can be seen in Tron Legacy. When Flynn created CLU, he did so by creating a mirror, then bringing his reflection to life. Those of us that know our Unix commands recognize a CP Flynn CLU when we see one. The rest of the audience didn't. To really understand why CLU was different from other programs, and still not quite Flynn, those of us that knew a little Unix needed to hold the hands of our non-Unix friends and explain it all to them. This movie sidestepped all that by just making the robots people, except that they happen to be robots. And it works, except that people like me are going to complain. And that's okay. Those of us that are complaining about it are being pedantic, not perceptive. And it is our right to be pedantic, even though it rightly means that we're going to be ignored and passed over.